The bombshell drop by Martin Brundle and Oscar Piastri has sent shockwaves through the Formula One paddock, and McLaren are right at the center of it. What started as quiet frustration has now exploded into one of the biggest talking points of the season, after both Brundle and Piastri revealed new shocking evidence that exposes what's really been happening behind closed doors at Woking. Brundle, known for his sharp, no-nonsense insight, has laid out his theory on why Piastri's title challenge has collapsed so dramatically. It's not just about bad luck. It's about internal drama, mental pressure, and a team dynamic that's quietly starting to crack. At the same time, Piastri himself has broken his silence, admitting that McLaren's strategy decisions and the emotional fallout from recent races have taken a toll on his confidence and rhythm. Their words together have painted a picture far more complicated and far more explosive than anyone expected. For Brundle, the warning is clear. Something inside McLaren has gone wrong. His latest analysis doesn't just point to missed opportunities or poor form. It points to an imbalance in how the team has managed its two drivers. He argues that Piastri's struggles can't be explained by luck alone. Instead, he lists a series of factors from mental fatigue and setup confusion to subtle internal favoritism that have combined to derail the young Australian's momentum. Just as Norris has hit top form, his comments hit a nerve because they echo what Piastri has been hinting at for weeks, that the team's strategic calls, the pressure of equality, and the emotional weight of being compared to a rising superstar teammate have all added up. And when both a respected veteran like Brundle and the driver himself start pointing at the same cracks in the system, it's no longer a coincidence. It's a pattern. Piastri's honesty has only added fuel to the fire. In his latest interviews, he revealed how moments like the controversial team order at Monza and his disastrous weekend in Baku didn't just affect his results, they affected his mindset. He admitted he was overdriving, trying too hard to recover from setbacks that weren't entirely of his own making. That admission, combined with Brundle's analysis, suggests that McLaren's careful corporate image might be hiding a more human problem, a driver carrying the psychological weight of decisions made above his head. And while Norris has thrived under the same system, Piastri's confidence has faltered. Brundle calls it a perfect storm of mental strain, unlucky timing, and internal imbalance. The question now is whether McLaren can fix it before the damage becomes permanent. And that's exactly why you'll want to stick around until the end of this video. Because what Brundle and Piastri have just revealed doesn't just explain why McLaren's title hopes are fading. It might expose the truth about how one of Formula One's most promising young stars was let down by the system around him. So, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned, because the evidence they've just brought to light could change everything. The bombshell drop by Martin Brundle and Oscar Piastri has shaken McLaren to its core, not because it's based on wild accusations or exaggeration, but because it's rooted in cold, uncomfortable truth. Both men have now spoken openly about what's gone wrong inside the team, and the details they've revealed paint a picture of a structure under pressure. For Brundle, the evidence is clear. Piastri's title collapse hasn't been caused by a single mistake, but by a chain reaction of small compounding problems, mental fatigue, unlucky timing, setup confusion, and a growing imbalance within McLaren that seems to favor Lando Norris. It's not a conspiracy. It's a story of momentum and confidence, and how easily both can shift inside a Formula One team when the psychological balance breaks. Brundle's analysis is forensic. He doesn't just blame Piastri's mistakes, he contextualizes them. When Piastri crashed in Baku, spun in Austin, and tangled in Brazil, Brundle didn't see recklessness. He saw a driver overcompensating, trying to claw back the confidence he'd lost after Monza. In Brundle's view, McLaren's call to order Piastri to hand a position back to Norris at Monza wasn't just a tactical choice. It was a psychological blow. It told a young, hungry driver that even when he did everything right, the hierarchy still stood. From that moment, the pressure began to build. When Brundle writes that the dice simply won't roll for him, he's not talking about luck. He's describing how a driver's rhythm unravels once belief starts to fade. Piastri himself has now confirmed as much. His comments about Monza and Baku reveal just how deeply those weekends affected him. Piastri's recent radio messages questioning tire choices and strategies show a subtle loss of that trust. At Interlagos, when McLaren fitted soft tires after his penalty, he responded, "I hope you're more optimistic than I am." That wasn't sarcasm, it was frustration. The sound of a driver feeling like he's no longer part of the decision-making process. For Brundle, that tension is exactly what destroys momentum. In his column, he recalled how similar patterns have played out before teammates locked in quiet psychological battles that ripple through entire teams. He compared McLaren's situation to the early signs of imbalance at Red Bull between Webber and Vettel, or at Mercedes between Rosberg and Hamilton. Once one side gains belief and the other starts doubting, the performance gap grows wider than any car update could explain. It's not about who's faster, it's about who feels supported. And right now, McLaren's energy seems to orbit around Norris. Piastri's response to that reality has been quietly powerful. He hasn't lashed out or blamed the team directly, but his words tell the story. There were things in the lead-up that weren't the most helpful. He said Baku was a combination of a few things: the setup, the engine issue, how I was driving but there's no beating around the bush. That was the worst weekend I've ever had. It's the kind of self-awareness that separates champions from drivers who crumble under pressure. Yet even that reflection hints at something deeper, a sense that he's fighting both the car and the system. Brundle has also highlighted how timing and track characteristics have played a part. Piastri's dip in form coincided with a string of circuits that punished his driving style: narrow street tracks, low grip surfaces,